Even before the sun rose, the sound of battle raged. Myanmar's armed forces moving into the city of Bago, an important gateway to the south. Behind the barricades, the protesters tried to stand their ground, but the military advance was fierce. Automatic gunfire and evidence of heavier weapons. Pictures posted to social media appear to show rifle-launched grenades. And reports that 3 of Myanmar's ethnic rebel groups attacked a police station in the far eastern Shan state on Saturday morning. Unity amongst these disparate groups could be problematic for the military as it faces attacks on its outposts and civil unrest in towns and cities.
Iran sending a warning signal in the middle of nuclear talks. Hassan Rouhani has kicked off tests of the latest generation of centrifuges, the IR-9. These allow uranium to be enriched faster and in greater quantities. Other less powerful machines will also be tested.
Let me stress that all our nuclear activities are peaceful and for non-military purposes. Pursuing a destructive weapon that can be a large threat to a large community is not something that Iran is doing.
World powers have said the tests constitute a breach of the 2015 nuclear deal.
Police in Greece have launched a manhunt after a veteran crime reporter was shot dead outside his home in Athens. Yorgos Karivas was ambushed and shot several times as he arrived home from work. Investigators say the shooting looks like the work of professional killers.
It was described as an execution-style murder. Flowers mark the spot where well-known Greek journalist Yorgos Karivas was killed by several gunshots in front of his apartment in Athens. Karivas was on his way home from a midday broadcast when 2 men on a motorbike drew up alongside him and opened fire. They killed him without a sound, which is why police think they were using a silencer.
American sailors have set course for the Black Sea, off the south coast of Russia, in a move widely seen as a show of support for Ukraine, where fighting between Ukraine's forces and separatist militias has worsened in recent weeks. On Friday, a source at the Turkish Foreign Ministry told TASS that it had received a notification from Washington that 2 U.S. warships would pass through the Bosporus Straits and into the Black Sea. Under international law, Ankara controls access to the inland body of water for certain types of vessels, including Navy ships. In accordance with these conventions, Turkish envoys say they were notified through diplomatic channels 15 days ago that 2 U.S. warships would enter the Black Sea. The ships will remain there until the 4th of May, the unnamed official said.
It's understood that the land is private land, but then community members are saying that they do have a right to erect some form of structure. So now that it is understood that a standoff is currently happening between the police. Do you see those visual images there of the police vehicle arriving, trying to chase away those community members that are protesting? I do understand as well that the situation is escalating. As you can see, that gentleman there, we're unsure whether or not tear gas has been given, but we do have our Avu Mdila, who is tracking that story for us, joining us from Rabie Ridge. Avu, if you can hear me, do tell us what is happening.
Well, the police is here. There is stun grenades that has gone off, also tear gas. As I'm telling you, we are engulfed in that tear gas, in the eyes as well.
Microsoft-owned social media network LinkedIn is the latest victim of a massive data breach. Data of 500 million user profiles has been allegedly leaked by cyber criminals. The sale of the data was first reported by Cyber News, according to which an archive including user IDs, names, email addresses, phone numbers, genders, professional titles and links to other social media profiles were being auctioned off on the forum for a four-figure sum.
After 2 days of meetings between heads of state and regional security experts, the SADC leaders have called for an immediate technical deployment to Mozambique. The plan is to meet again at the end of April once the technical group has shared its findings. Many people died and thousands were displaced after last month's attacks in Palma. The UN recently in a statement accused Tanzania of denying access to some Mozambicans who had fled the violence. Tanzanian officials say they have secured the border and that towns like Mtwara that are located near Mozambique are safe. About a month ago, the US government blocked all property and interest in property held by alleged Tanzanian Abu Yassi Hassan and the ISIS Mozambique group.
A cyclone emergency is unfolding north of Perth tonight, with Kalbarri and Geraldton facing a direct hit from the dangerous Category 3 storm Saroja within hours. Authorities have now declared a red alert situation, warning residents to take shelter and not to move, with homes and lives at risk. These are live pictures from Kalbarri right now, and you can see the impact of the leading edge of this powerful storm is having as it approaches land. From space, the system is enormous, with cyclonic clouds stretching from Carnarvon to Lancelin.
COVID-19 is spreading faster in India than anywhere else in the world, including the US and Brazil. It recorded more than 150,000 infections over the past 24 hours and around 840 deaths. Hospitals, particularly those in the worst affected state of Maharashtra, are falling short of critical care beds. Cases and deaths are also surging in other parts of the country.
It's one of the most unpredictable general elections in Peru's history. 18 presidential candidates, and pollsters say any of the 6 frontrunners could reach the second round. It's an unprecedented scenario fueled by the pandemic. Hours ahead of the vote, it was too close to call.
The campaigns have been unusual. People haven't had the chance to meet candidates. There have been hardly any rallies or town visits. Nearly 60% of people don't know the candidates' proposals, so they'll be undecided until the last minute.
And this may be why they are undecided. Keiko Fujimori, running for the 3rd time while under investigation for corruption. Veronica Mendoza, making a second run with a progressive left-wing agenda, is ideologically far from the radical leftist teacher Pedro Castillo.